All right, Nick, let's talk about the San Francisco 49ers. This is a team that was really, really good last season. They're going to be really, really good this season because they have all kinds of good players all around the ball, Nick. And this week, they made another crucial decision on the roster that I think is going to help them going forward into the 2023 season.
Yeah, Miles, I agree with you. I think the 49ers quietly made a very massive move that will be huge for them going forward. But before we get into that, 49ers fans, we want to hear from you guys in the comments section below. We've obviously gone through the first few waves of the free agency period. The 49ers, while relatively quiet, have made a lot of big-time moves. And that's why we want to hear from you guys. Give us your grade of the 49ers offseason to this point. Look, we know all the talking heads on ESPN or NFL.com or whatever. They always throw out their grades left and right for these teams, but they don't know. They're not plugged in like you guys. No one knows more than you guys, the fans. You know the details. You follow these teams. That's why we want you guys to give us your grades for the 49ers offseason up to this point in the comment section below. All right, Miles, what you got? What's the latest out of San Francisco?
Yeah, Nick, the 49ers have made a lot of really interesting moves. One I think is pretty interesting, the addition of Sam Darnold. That could be something to watch going forward. But I think the biggest move potentially is involving superstar wide receiver. I think it's safe to say that he's been pretty good, or at least he's a star on the 49ers. Brandon Aiyuk. And I'm going to read from the article here, Nick. It says, add Brandon Aiyuk to the list of wide receivers generating trade interest this offseason. The 49ers have fielded multiple inquiries from multiple teams for the former first-round pick, but John Lynch plans to keep him in San Francisco. The 49ers are also planning to pick up Aiyuk's fifth-year option for 2024. Lynch said the figure per the San Francisco Chronicles Eric Branch is set to come in at $14.12 million. Aiyuk is set to count just $3.9 million against the cap in 2023. So, Nick, they're going to extend Aiyuk, pick up that fifth-year option. He's going to be with the team this year. He's also going to be guaranteed with them through next year as well. I think Aiyuk is quietly probably San Francisco's best receiver. Obviously, per PFF, he's their highest graded receiver out of the receiving department, not including George Kittle. But he's 78.7 grade, a pretty good grade for a receiver. You know, he got 1,000 receiving yards plus last year. He got 8 touchdowns. He's been very, very good overall. I just think he's a dynamic playmaker for this team, and is a really smart move for them to pick up for any kind of Super Bowl push they're making this year and the year after that. But what do you think, Nick? What do you think about the 49ers adding the fifth-year option for Aiyuk?
Yeah, so this was a good move on 3 fronts. And the first point, Miles, is I agree with you. I think he is their best pure receiver. Look, everyone knows Deebo Samuel's a superstar playmaker, but Samuel does so much different stuff. He does things as a running back. He'll line up in the slot. He'll do a lot of quick bubble screens. Like, he's a wide receiver kind of in name only. He's a playmaker. He's an athlete, to use what you hear a lot in college football parlance. So I agree with you. Aiyuk is probably their most pure wide receiver of anybody on this roster. So obviously making sure you have a quality guy like Aiyuk at that position is necessary. So keeping him locked down is good. Number 2, Miles, we always talk about teams. When you have young quarterbacks on rookie deals, what do? You make sure you surround them with weapons. You either bring in talented weapons, or if you already have them, you keep them in the building. It is a must that you do that. And it looks like Brock Purdy is their guy. If not Purdy, it may be Trey Lance. If he's able to beat him out, or Purdy gets hurt, or whatever happens in that situation, the 49ers will not be spending a lot of money at the quarterback position, at least according to cap space. So they'll be able to, they're in a position to keep these playmakers on, which means they should hold on to them. That's what the smart teams do. That's what John Lynch is doing. So credit to him, the organization there. And number 3, Miles, according to just a pure dollars and cents, the production you're getting versus how much money you're spending, Aiyuk is a steal according to overthecap.com's valuation. And they use a lot of analytics to figure out how much a player should count against the cap, to figure out what a team is doing, if they're doing smart moves or dumb moves in terms of how they're spending their money. So according to Over the Cap, Brandon Aiyuk is valued at 16.9. I'll just say $17 million. You brought it up, Miles. His cap hit next season is about $4 million. That's a huge steal. Even if they pick up his 5th-year option, that's about what, 14 and change, I think you said, $1 million. That's still a big discount over the $17 million valuation that Aiyuk carries according to overthecap.com. So no matter how you look at this, Mize, in terms of, high level strategy, surrounding a young quarterback with weapons, in terms of good business sense, getting a player at a discount to his intrinsic value, or number three, just making sure you're keeping your best pure player at his position on a team that's looking to win now, no matter how you look at it, this is a great move by the San Francisco 49ers. And Lynch kind of alluded to it, right? There has been a lot of interest for Aiyuk, for some teams willing to pick up, maybe trade a first or second round pick for this guy. So the fact that Lynch, it resisted that siren call, resisted that temptation, and made sure to stick with the guy who I think is a really good player is a really good sign for the 49ers going forward, because they have all the talent, as we all saw last season, to make a run to the Super Bowl. As long as they just stay healthy at the quarterback position, I think they'll be fine. So credit to John Lynch and company there, making sure they didn't upset the apple cart here.